Start stream. Okay. I am live. Hello,
Right.
hello, hi, howdy, ho.
Now let me go to your Twitch. Poor Phyrexians only?
Yeah. Because we're playing Pauper.
Oh. Get
Like, I get it. All right, let me connect my webpage. Not spell table. I don't want spell table. That's not the one. That's the one. Actually, I wanted this page. That's the one. We got there, folks. All right. Let me stretch this a little. There we go. All right. So I have to cut about 30 cards from this. I'm struggling. I don't know what to do to cut it.
It's hard because we're such casual players and this is like for competitive.
I know. So okay. I have a list of oh my god. I have a list of how many of each type of card I have. So I have one thing in here that makes my creatures indestructible. So that's this. Your temple is under attack. Creatures you control gain indestructible. So that's like my only like heroic intervention type card. There isn't anything else that exists that's common in this color set. So
Yeah. I will say I think we could have you tried opening like have you tried looking at other like lists of and builds of Abdel? Because even right off the bat, like there's other
so I did look at a competitive Pauper deck that used this color. They use a different commander, a different background, but it is an Azorius, and a lot of it is similar. I probably have to narrow down creatures because I have 35 of them. Yeah, it's pEDH Phoenix. And I do have to narrow down instance. I put some things in sideboard, but I'm gonna move them to considering just because it takes like when it's in sideboard, it still factors in the price.
yeah,
so I'm gonna move them to considering.
The instance I wouldn't worry about narrowing them down because I'm looking at other deck lists and they have like the bulk of the deck is instance.
How many?
A lot of this one I'm looking at has 28 and yours is 29. They have less creatures though at only 14.
How many enchantments?
Only 3. And they have 14 artifacts. I can send you the list. You don't have to copy it obviously, but just get some ideas about like what are the artifacts doing in particular? What are all like, a lot of these artifacts are mana artifacts, and then a lot of the instants are either counter spells or flicker effects.
So the thing is though that the instants are counter. I've narrowed it down to 5 counter spells. So I had way more, but I narrowed it. So we're down to 5 counter spells. I have 4 things that are prevent damage. And 1 thing that makes my creatures indestructible. I could probably cut a couple of those prevent damage. I had initially 11 things in my instance that return to hand and 9 creatures that when they ETB they return something to hand. and that was too much. So I focused more on returning, like exile and return to battlefield, rather than returning to hand, because Abdel costs a lot to cast. He costs 5 to cast, and I don't want to pay commander tax on him. So I'd rather him go to hand and recast him for that much than to pay commander tax. But I want creatures that ETB with other things like card draw, because if I'm blinking, then I like being able to draw a card again, or search for a land or something like
Yeah.
that.
I think we should cut the mirror creatures.
The ones that tap for mana?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
I
want to
think
forget that they were there, so I'm moving them to considering just
yeah.
for now.
I think you could add a Cloud of Fairies. That's a very CEDH card, whether it's Papa or not. It's very
Cloud
played.
of Fairies.
Fairies.
Yeah, I feel like I had something that untaps lands. And I put it away. I don't remember what it was. I think it was an instant, though. It was like a counter spell or something. Alright, so for my artifacts, I could probably cut, like, everything in this deck is so cheap. Like, almost everything is 3 mana and under.
I would cut the Sky Diamond because it enters the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, so does Marble. I lost it.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
Alright, do we want to keep both Thought Vessel and Decanter of Endless Waters?
I don't know if we care about hand size.
We don't necessarily, but I like being able to have the option.
I would say switch out the Decanter for a Commander Sphere because the Commander
Sphere is in there already.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the Warhammer ones. I still don't recognize those cards.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
Yeah, it just was the automatic choice that went in when I put it in. Hey, Shan. Yeah, we can't put any boots in because they're not common. So I put Haunted Cloak because it equips for 1 and it gives the creature vigilance, trample, and haste. And really it's haste that I care about because if I'm flickering Abdel, I want to be able to use him right away.
Yeah.
This will let me draw a card and discard a card, so this gains a life.
Have you watched anyone play this deck to see what the game plan is and how they respond to things? And
no, not at all. I do have some, okay, I have some Frogify. Should I just cut those? Enchanted creature loses all abilities and has a base power toughness 1/1.
It seems like a good a competitive one because that could turn my commander into shit.
Right. It slows you down. I drafted a 60 card deck. It wasn't a commander deck though. It was like a 60 card pauper deck with slivers. But it wasn't pEDH. It was just pauper. And this is the first pauper deck. I like this Benevolent Blessing. It's kind of like a Mother of Ruins. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color, but you have to choose the color and you have to choose the creature.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the follow. It's a Chungalodon. I love having to say people's weird screen names. Like I'm always gonna be bad at it, but I always have a fun time doing it. I feel like a Mind Stone is probably less valuable because it adds a colorless, and I can sack it to draw a card, but like that feels like dire straits, you know, kind of like in super emergency.
Yeah, I'd say maybe switch. Yeah, I'd say maybe take out the Mind Stone. Because
I
you need
know
more color. Like, you
I
have
know
a lot.
Bobby like is gonna kill me because Bobby never wants to cut card draw cards.
Mm.
Um
Well,
all right,
the
what
thing is
about
that Mind Stone taps for colorless, and you have a
yeah.
lot of instants and like sorceries that cost one colored mana.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
while I agree, I think you're not the worst.
I the two things that are the most expensive are Muldrifter, which is a flyer, which I like to have always, and it ETBs you draw 2 cards. And the Pegasus Guardian, which really is a 2-drop instant that blinks a card, and then the creature that costs 6 will constantly create Pegasus tokens when I blink things or when something leaves the battlefield. So it's expensive because it constantly generates new flying creatures. But otherwise, everything else is like 4 and under. I could probably cut some of the other 4-drops because they're pricier. Though I feel like I have like a decent ramp game.
Yeah.
Stonehorn Dignitary, when it ETBs, a target opponent skips their combat phase. And if I'm blinking things, I could keep making somebody skip a combat phase. Obviously I want to prioritize blinking Abdel, but I would like to be able to blink other things if necessary. Search Party Captain costs 1 less for each creature you attacked with this turn when an ETBs draw a card. You may search for planes, put it in your on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. When this card ETBs, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. And it's unblockable. When Archaeomancer enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from the graveyard to your hand. Soldiers get +1/+0. I feel like that's valuable. This searches for a basic land. I guess this is better than the Cartographer. Because it's 3 colorless, and I guess I could blink it if I needed to. Maybe. I'll put the Cartographer in considering. Silver Drake is a 3/3 flyer. I could return a white or blue creature I control to hand. Scouting Hawk only works if my opponents have more lands than me.
I don't think Scouting Hawk is fast enough in the competitive deck.
Yeah. Okay, I'm moving him. Pilgrim's Eye enters the battlefield. I may search for a basic, reveal it, and put it into my hand, and then shuffle. Hey, Gunner, what's up? I'm building a pauper deck. Pauper EDH. All right, we're at 125. I'm feeling better about things. When Pilgrim of the Ages enters the battlefield, you may search your library for basic planes, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle.
Can I make a suggestion? I think you could cut Farfinder and replace it with Spirited Companion, because Spirited Companion is a draw card on ETB.
It's on. I have Spirited Companion here already.
You do?
Yes.
Oh my god, I suck.
I just don't have it. I have them arranged by mana value right now. Because I wanted to cut the most expensive useless things, and I'm pretty down. I'm pretty much down to like 3 mana and under for everything. So, Pilgrim of Ages, Farfinder. Okay. I'm gonna, all right, of my creatures, I'm gonna write down how many ETB and draw a card, how many, get me a land, and how many, blink so far. Ginger Brute's just fun. Whenever a token enters the battlefield, gain 1 life. That seems pretty useful. Okay, this one blinks. One for blank. This is untap 2 lands. Creatures you control gain haste. Return to hand. That's a blink. This blinks. Or rather, return to hand. Return to hand. That's mana. This, when it dies, it draws a card, so I'm going to count it as card draw. Spirited Companion's card draw. Suture Priest is life gain and drain life. Soldiers get +0/+1. Return to hand. Return to hand. Mana. Draw a card. Search for a land. That's gain life and draw a card when it dies. Draw a card. Owner's hand. Land.
I still think you should cut Farfinder. I feel like these games are going to be a lot more spell slingy, and you don't want to be ramping for a forest on turn 3. You're trying to like either counter or draw a card or do something else a little fast.
I'm not mutating at all, Gunner. I don't even understand the mutate mechanism. I fucking hate mutate because I don't understand it. I literally don't. It's like, it came out before I started, and it's like beyond my, like, I have to see it, and not enough people play it that like I don't know what it does. Okay, hold on. Well, if I'm cutting Farfinder, then I have to also cut Skittering Surveyor because they kind of do the same thing at 3.
Which one are you cutting?
Farfinder and Skittering Surveyor.
Yeah. Cut that one.
Hold on. Okay. So I have 7 creatures that when they ETB, they draw cards. I have 4 creatures that when they ETB, they search me lands. But if I cut the Skittering Surveyor and the Farfinder, I'm left with 2 things that fetch me lands instead of 4.
I think that'll be okay.
Hey, welcome in and thanks for the follow. Okay. I'm trusting you. I'm going to move them to considering. I also have 9 creatures that will allow me to bring, when they ETB, they will bring something to hand.
I will say I'm looking at a competitive list of this deck, and there's a lot of cards like that have a lot of the same text on it. So there's like Archaeomancer that says when it
Yeah.
enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Mnemonic Wall has the same text on it. Salvager of Secrets has the same text on it. Respiratory Scab says the same thing on it. Was this?
Yeah, I know they're... So the thing is that they're bringing back instants or sorceries. However, I don't think that's... In my mind, this is why that's not successful. Because Abdel needs permanence to exile in order to create the soldiers. So if you don't have permanence, non-land permanence, then what the fuck are you going to exile to make soldiers with? You're going to be able to keep playing instants and sorceries that blink him, but then for what, you know?
Yeah.
So just artifacts? How many artifacts are people running?
I don't know. This one deck is for... That's why I'm asking if you've seen anyone like play a video of someone playing it and explaining it, because they might have that answer to your question.
I haven't seen anybody play it, but I feel good with like having lots of instants. I don't necessarily know that I need to like bring those instants back because I have so many. Jin, it's not cEDH, it's pEDH, so it's a pauper EDH, but it is for a competitive event. So it's like competitive pauper EDH. So we're limited to only commons. The commander is Abdel and Sword Coast Sailor. So essentially, I want to be able to blink Abdel. I want to give him haste so I could still deal commander damage, but also create 1/1 soldiers. So when Abdel enters the battlefield, I exile any number of non-land permanents until he leaves the battlefield. So I want him to ETB. I want to exile X number of permanents that are already on the battlefield, create the 1/1 soldiers, and then I want to blink him so that he leaves and comes back and those permanents return, and I can potentially do it again and make more soldiers. So I do need permanents out in order to have things to exile in order to create the soldiers. So I have a lot of stuff that either returns him to hand or blinks him. But I also want to protect myself as well. So I have 5 counter spells and 4 like prevent damage type spells. Do I need that many? I have 9 creatures right now that return something to hand. Do you think I need that many?
No.
All right, so I'm going to go backwards because I want to go by the most expensive. The Keymaster Rogue I like, even though he's the priciest, because he's unblockable. So unless he's removed, he's dealing 3 damage anyway. This Silver Drake is the next expensive, but it's a flyer, and I like having flyers, but I do have other flyers. So should I cut that?
What does the Drake do?
when it comes into play, return a white or blue creature you control to its owner's hand.
I think cut it.
Cut it? Alright,
Yeah,
let's
it's
cut.
expensive.
Mana War. Also a 3-drop. Return target creature to its owner's hand. I can probably cut it because we've got a lot. So now we still have 7. This Aether Adept, return target creature to its owner's hand. White Mane Lion does the same thing. So if I cut this... Now it's 6 things, but a bulk of them are 2 mana and under. The commander is Abdel and Sword Coast Sailor. I'll leave the link in the chat for anybody who wants to follow along on their own. It's unlisted at the moment. I still have to cut 20 cards. Like, this is a 1/5. So it's a good blocker, but then this one's a 2/3 flyer.
I think you should cut the alloy mirror.
I don't even know where it is anymore. I lost it. There it is. Okay. The gingerbread? Gingerbread?
Yeah.
I
I
love
love the
gingerbread.
gingerbread, but I think we need to cut him.
Really? Oh.
I know.
But I loves him. He gains life, and he can't be blocked. Look at his little... Excuse me. Look at his sloppy grin.
I know, it's so gross.
I know. It looks like something that I'm not going to say out loud. I'll leave it to everyone's imagination. It doesn't make the commander bigger to blink. He just makes tokens. So I want to have a lot of permanents. And then bring him in to exile those permanents. And then be able to... Let's say I have 15 permanents. I exile them all when he comes in. And then I make 15 soldiers. And then I'll use my available mana to then either return him to hand or blink him so that those permanents come back. And I make more soldiers.
So I think I'm trying to read up on this deck. And it's saying you're not trying to like attack, and your game plan isn't like combat. So I think certain cards like giving soldiers +1, +2, +1, that's like not something you care about.
Why wouldn't I care about combat?
Because you're trying to win by comboing out with this deck.
What would I combo?
Well, I'm trying to read about it. I can send you this little
Yeah.
short snippet. Um, the Moxfield reads, "What does the deck want to do?" This is in the primer, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
This deck will deploy generic value pieces such as mana rocks and ETB draw permanents before exiling them under Abdel. Exiling an Archaeomancer under him sets the deck up for the combo, only needing to flicker Abdel to generate mana to recast the flicker spell over and over again, making infinite soldiers and potentially infinite mana and draw depending on what's exiled under him. So a lot of these Pauper CEDH decks are like
Mm-hmm.
infinite combo decks that once you hit the pieces, you combo off and win.
Mm.
That's what mine does as well. The Is It
Okay.
Guildmage? Because there's not like, we're not ramping into a Crater Hoof and swinging out. We're not
Right.
um ramping into a big giant Avacyn to like, protect our board and swing out.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to make, giant soldiers and like give them flying and lifelink and like swing
What?
out. It's
The
different.
send me the link. Did you send it?
I did over Discord.
Okay. I got it. I'm gonna look at it. Here. Okay. Mm. So,
And at the bottom there it says, "How does it win?" So after
yeah.
assembling the combo,
Okay, but what combo? Do they say?
yeah, um, I guess they're not as specific as the Is It Guildmage primer. The Is It Guildmage primer is like an essay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this one does say, um, I guess the bare bones combo. I don't know what that is. It makes infinite soldiers, and you swing with them. I guess that's one way your deck can swing with soldiers, but you're not pumping them. You're making infinite of them.
Yeah, like I had a Bonder's ornament in there and I took it out because it just felt too
And
pricey.
any way to make infinite mana or draw cards can actually end the game on the spot. With the deck in hand and all the mana in the world, the flicker spell can be substituted for a winds of rebuke to mill everyone out. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Each player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his graveyard. Yeah, Hierophant's Chalice. Enters the battlefield. Target opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life. It's not a budget restriction. It's a rules restriction where every card must only be a common. Only the commanders can be uncommon, and that's it. All the other cards in the deck must be common only. So let me see. Primer. I'll view the primer again. So it says Hierophant's Chalice is another option to blink, draining out the opponents while also providing mana. Dropping another Archaeomancer can bring back more spells at a time. Looping cards like into the royal to bounce, the other player's boards to hand. There are a number of cards that can also be used to loop to win, but had to be cut from the deck. Some include Zulaport Duelist, Necrogen Censor, and Ghoul Caller's Bell. I don't want to copy and paste the list, no. Anyway, I've already built my list. I'm just refining it. And
Yeah, we can refine it without copying it.
I'm like frozen. My computer's like, hold on a second. And I'm like, okay.
Mine did that earlier today.
Yeah, must be a New Jersey thing. Come on, come back. It's like totally frozen. Like I can click things, but it's not like actually doing anything. There we go. I think it's coming back. Maybe. My Twitch is still a little frozen, but my websites are working again. Yeah, so I just don't know what they are. What the combo is. Yeah, Snap I was in there, and then I think I moved it to... No, I do have Snap here. Yeah, I don't know what the combo is. Like, it doesn't really say.
Yeah, I'm trying to
primer.
look it up.
Peregrine Drake, Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker. But there's got to be multiple ways of doing that. Also, hello, Pharmacist Judge. Welcome in. I've been meaning to talk to you about something, by the way. Alright, I have to write this down.
Oh yeah, Jack coming in with the rescue.
Yeah, right? Okay. It's going too fast. I'm like trying to write and the chat's like getting away from me. I'm like, no. It's like the sloppiest handwriting either as well. Okay. Archaeomancer as an alternative. Got you. Yeah, Cloud Fairies is in there as well. I see. Yeah, I can't use anything that is not common. Okay, so they also said in the primer, looping things like into the royal, Zulaport Duelist, Necrogen Sensor. I'm actually kind of bummed because I really wanted to like swing out. Like I wanted to use the soldiers.
I mean, I'm sure no one's stopping you.
I know, but I want to win.
I somehow landed on a deck page of a Pauper Commander deck.
Mm-hmm.
And the commander is Squealing Leeches.
That's
and the
adorable.
deck is 99 Swamps. I was like, wait a second, where's the list?
What does it do?
It's, the printing is just, its power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you control.
Oh.
So it's not very funny, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, you can't block more than one thing either, so it leaves you really susceptible to damage. I'd kill you with all my soldiers immediately.
I know, it's so silly.
Prize statue. Yeah, I do have High Tide and Snap in there already as well. I don't have big brain for this. Like,
That's why I'm worried about playing the Izzet Guildmage, because I'm like,
the thing is
so
that,
many
like,
of these decks are combo decks, and I'm like,
once I know what I'm looking for, I know that I can recognize I have it, but I wouldn't, like, recognize a combo unless I knew I was looking for it.
What I think would be really fun if we have the time is that we should print out 4 or 5 of these. You should come over, and then you,
Yeah.
me, Adam, and like my cousin could like try and play test these. My cousin plays competitive Magic, so he could teach us
Yeah.
like what we're looking for and like what our lines of play need to be
Yeah.
and like what we need to respond to and like those kind of things. We can ask nicely if he wants to do that and like help us out.
Sure. Sure. Hey, the real salties. I am building a competitive popper EDH deck. I have to cut 19 things and um displace instead of ghostly flicker, you say? Um Maybe. Let me look at what my considering is because I've moved things in and out. I don't think so. Okay, displace. Yeah, it's here. I feel like maybe it was in there and then I took it out, or I had something similar to it in there because I didn't think I needed to exile 2 things. Why displace? Because I have a lot of stuff in here that just exiles 1 thing. Like, there's like 13 things in here that exile and return to battlefield. Okay, so should I be putting in things that flicker 2 things more? Because I purposely like took those out because I didn't think I would need to flicker 2 things.
Well, chat's being so helpful.
We do have a judge in here, so that's great. Okay. What did I move to considering? So like this is a sorcery, but it's choose and discard X creature cards, return X creature cards to their owner's hand. So it's not really like a blink, but see, this is undo returns 2 things to hand. I'm trying to see what I already cut. Oh yeah, displace was in there. I did have it, and then I moved it to considering. And ghostly flicker. Okay.
When is this tournament? The 12th, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not a lot of time. I'm scared.
I wouldn't be too scared.
All right. So it's on the 12th. It's like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. It's in Philly. Oh man. I just hate that like everything is combos. That to me sucks. Like that's what I hate about competitive Magic is like I feel like there's no skill in finding a combo and just playing it and being like, "Hey, these cards all react to it with each other and I got there faster than you did."
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe that's just like my own bias, but it feels very uninteresting to me to win that way.
No, that's a very fair, honest opinion.
Okay. Keymaster Rogue and Palace Familiar are cuts. Yeah, that's why I want to like give I want to be able to swing out. The only reason I like Keymaster Rogue is because he himself is unblockable. So it's like an easy 3 damage. For Pauper EDH also, the life total starts at 30 and the commander damage is 16 instead of 21.
I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I don't have a Peregrine Drake, or do I have a Mnemonic Wall? I don't think so. So I'd have to add those. Yeah, I don't know what's better either. Alright, so Mnemonic Wall and Peregrine Drake seem like necessary includes. Hey, what's up, Ironside?
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. Let me look at what they have here. See, they have so much stuff in here that I cut because it was pricey. And I felt like it wasn't worth it.
Like pricey mana-wise?
Yeah. Like Winds of Rebuke, I don't think I have. Pharmacist Judge says, what do y'all think is worse, having a single foil card in a deck or having a single white bordered card in a deck?
Having a single foil is most likely more going to be not that obvious depending on what the lighting is in the room. But I feel like the white bordered one's going to be more obvious. In my opinion.
I don't know.
Not to say it's worse than the other.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think a single foil only because of the curling. Like it would be like noticeable in the deck. I have decks with one white border like this holy day.
I texted my cousin asking if he would help with his magic knowledge.
Cool. They have a lot of like card draw stuff, and I know I got rid of a lot of card draw stuff. Excuse me. Today, I feel like I have... Yeah, I have Planar Incision. I have Otherworldly Journey. Excuse me. I have Negate.
That's you.
Thank you. Yeah, it looks like we have a lot of similar stuff. I don't have Into the Royal, but I need it. My god, my allergies are crazy. Okay, I do like, the Potion of Healing and the Hierophant's Chalice. Oh, am I spelling it wrong? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna cut some of these. Prevent damage things.
Yeah, I think that one can be for sure.
I feel like I just kept like adding things and now I'm having to go back and I'm still at all right.
Well, you're down to 118, which is good.
Yeah. So this one I debated on. Enchant, it's an enchantment. I can enchant creature and it'll get +1/+3. And I can pay a white to return the enchanted creature to its owner's hand. But it's an aura, so if I return it to the owner's hand, I'll lose the aura. So really it can only boost the creature like a couple times before it's gone away. If I'm like adding it to Abdel or something.
Yeah.
I could enchant something else and make it bigger, but if I'm not really swinging out, then that's a less worthy card to keep. Okay, 116. I have to get rid of, like, I guess, like 10 creatures. It's looking like Ginger Brute's not making the cut. Poor baby. I guess I'll cut Filigree Familiar. Hey, Bio, thanks for the bits. Welcome in.
Oh, hi, bye.
I guess I'll move this one and this one. I like that there's some of these that you can flash in. Like, I'm at 109. It's perfect. Can I just leave it like that? It feels fine.
Oh, Bio, I also like that Ron and me are buddies.
Oh, Bio. Bio, Anna moved really close to me. She lives like 10 minutes away now. And even though she lives so close to me, we're still doing this over Discord like losers.
Well, it'd be easier if I had access to a car, but I can't like drive over. You could like drive over when I'm streaming and join me like you did for early access.
I could. That was so fun.
That was.
And like, I would just fully go over there right now in my bathrobe, my house robe. Okay, I can get rid of this, I guess. Maybe move to considering. All right, 106. I can't do any more. I don't want to. Anna, help. I've got to cut 6 more.
Okay, let me refresh.
This is the competitive deck. There's a lot of creatures in here that I really just don't give a shit about
What's
having.
that crashing drawbridge. Wow, that was hard to say.
Yeah, but it gives all my creatures haste.
I don't think you care about that when you're trying to combo out, though.
I know, but I like it as a failsafe.
You know, but you're not going to cut 6 cards if you keep liking every card I tell you to cut.
I know. I'll cut the Anointer Priest over the drawbridge, I think.
Hold on, what's the Anointer Priest?
It gives me 1 life for every creature token that enters. I mean,
Yeah,
I like it, though, because it protects me. You know, like, somebody, if I keep gaining life, somebody would have to deal me commander damage to kill me.
Right, but I, like, if for my deck example, the Is It Guild Mage, I'm not trying to kill you with commander damage. I'm trying to kill you by comboing off. So, like, I don't necessarily think life gain is that much of an issue. And the same thing with Inspiring Overseer. Like, sure, it draws you a card, but we don't really care about that.
So we cut 2. We've got 4 more cuts. Come on, baby.
I think Stonehorn Dignitary, because again, a lot of decks are looking to combo out, and even if you shut down everyone's combat phase, they might still have their main win con available to them.
Then I can cut this too. The false piece. That player can't attack.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. This is another moment of silence is a player skips combat step. So I'll move that. 1 more. Excuse me.
That's you.
Maybe riot control. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Prevent all damage. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna move that one. Okay, it's done. We're at 100.
Right.
I don't know if it's any good, but
Well, you got the combo pieces in here.
yeah. So I mean, I think so. I just have to recognize that they're there. Like I don't know.
I think the one thing that you could still do to the deck is flesh out your land base a little bit more
So
because
I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the other decks that included, like other non-basic lands, and either they enter tapped, which I don't want to do, or they don't really do anything. They just tap for a mana. So it's like, what's the point? If they're gonna do the same thing as a basic, then why not just include a basic? The only one that I included was Mystic Sanctuary because it does something. It says it enters untapped if you control 3 or more islands, which is very easily possible. You may put a target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to the top of your library. So it has a benefit that's like relative to this deck. So
yeah,
the other
put that in here.
the other lands that I like non-basics just didn't do anything for me. I didn't see them as valuable to include. It's 30 now, it's 34 white and 46 blue. So I could probably put in more islands than plains, but not by too much. And a bulk of this stuff, 18 permanents have a mana value 2, 2 permanents with a mana value 1, 8 permanents with a mana value 3. There's only...
I think you could probably do...
There's only 8 permanents that are 4 or higher.
That's okay. I think you could do a couple more blue lands and a couple less plains in your mana base. 'Cause right now it's 16 and 16.
Yeah.
If you don't want to add any other like dual, like common duals, you should maybe, I don't know, I would start off with add 2 blue, take 2 white, and then like refresh and then see what the percentage is at the bottom.
Yeah, 34, 46. And the white mana production is 46. Blue mana production is 60. I feel like it's okay.
Yeah. So of all the symbols in our deck, we have 46% of it is blue and 34 is white. So I would just even like switch to make 2 white lands blue lands, and that will help you even more because you have a lot more blue spells than white spells.
I don't know how to like play test. Okay. Oh, I see. All right, let me start over. I'm gonna run a playtest. I've never really done it, so I don't know how. Okay, I'm gonna play dupe next turn. I think I had to draw a card for this. I don't know if it's automatic. I don't fucking know how to playtest on this thing. Okay. No. I don't understand how to playtest. I'm like the worst at this. Yeah, I need to playtest this in real life with somebody.
Yeah, my cousin will help us. So I think if we both print out our decks and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe like 2 or 3 more, so that way like Adam and my cousin can help us, and then we can maybe like just switch around decks so we could like learn how to
Yeah.
play them, I guess.
It's like at $50 exactly, which is crazy. All right, so what are you building? Are you building something right now?
Well, I don't want to build anything because I just want to like take what's already there.
Okay.
I'm gonna net deck, so I think I'm gonna practice the Is It Guild Mage, and I was trying to look at 1 or 2 other ones that I wanted to maybe practice.
I think what I want to build a couple options. So my other option is Breaches Malcolm, which is a meta deck. So I don't know if I want to build it because it is meta, but I also wanted to do Rograk Arden, but that very much is it's not a combo. It really cares more. It's like Voltron. It cares more about like commander damage really because
Yeah.
it's first strike, menace, trample, and then Arden just equips things to it.
Also, fun fact, I'm texting my cousin right now. He mentioned that I sent him the event list because we're trying to figure out if the tournament is 1v1 or like a pot of 4.
Yeah.
And he found out it says it's competitive REL. So that's something that I don't think either of us have had to like experience. And he said it stands for competitive rules enforcement level. So if you miss a trigger or anything, there's like absolutely no flexibility. You can't like take back anything. You can't
Yeah.
like can say like, oh, I go to combat. Like, oh wait, I forgot to do this first.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
it's
fully understand that in a competitive format anyway. Like
yeah.
if it's
I didn't
for
realize that. So
if it's a tournament
yeah,
for money, I fully expect that to be enforced. I would
yeah,
never even
me too.
ask
I
to
guess.
take something back, if it's like $1,000
Yeah, but
on the
that's why
line.
I wanted to practice because I want to
Yeah, it
understand
has to be
or
really
just get
clean.
better at playing with the cards so I don't make those mistakes.
All right. So first, I want to see what even exists in the commander um colors that are common. Okay. So there's 98 equipments that are within this color identity. And for auras, there are even more. 222 within this color identity. Wow. But I'd need stuff that gives it plus as well. So let's see. Okay. All right, there's 75 in equipment and 112 in auras. All right, so it's doable because there's a lot of options. But there's no combo to this. Unless there's a way that I can, like, enter extra combats. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even know what to search. Like additional combat or extra combat. I don't think that would exist in this color. Can block an additional creature. Block an additional creature. Block an additional creature. Yeah, I put additional combat. Draco, thank you. No. I don't think it would be worded that way, but I'll try it. No. I would like to give it something like a Helm of the Host or something like that. Give it like Myriad, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be legendary. Like something that removes the legendary rule. Hey Draco, Anna and I are potentially going to enter in a pEDH competition, and we are looking to build some pEDH decks. Anna is going to build a deck that she's interested in from the meta. I've built Abdel, which exists in the meta, but I built him on my own and then fine-tuned him a little while ago using some meta pieces, but for the most part, I built him on my own, which is nice. I'm interested in building a second deck, and these were my options. Breaches and Malcolm, which is in the meta. Dargo and Togo. Kedis and Faltus. Alharu and Kelith. And Rograk and Arden. Rograk and Arden would deal with commander damage, but it's a little slower because a lot of these decks care about comboing. And if I'm just dealing commander damage, I don't know that I'll get there fast enough or that it's competitive enough. So Breaches Malcolm might be the other option, which is Breaches has Menace. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, exile the top card of each of those opponents' libraries. You may play those cards this turn, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. And Malcolm, whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. So, in these in this color identity, in the legalities, there are 88 pirates, or 88 cards that say something about pirate. Because it's counting this ship as a pirate. I don't know why, but Draco, the format is pretty much same as EDH, but you can only use an uncommon creature as your commander. It doesn't have to be legendary. And all the remaining cards must be commons only. Starting life total is 30 and commander damage is 16. It seems like all of these pirates do things, too. Like, they all have abilities or things that happen. Oh, this is not... I'm sorry, I forgot to change it to, pEDH. No wonder I'm getting so many. I was like, dockside shouldn't be legal. Alright. Pauper EDH. I was like, what the fuck is coming up? Alright. Card type. Pirates. Oh, just pirate. Oh, I fucked up again. It's blue, red, not white, red. Oh, my sweet lord. It would be super great if I knew how to fucking type. Here we go. 32. That makes more sense. So there's 32 pirates available to me in this format. This doesn't do shit. It actually says merchant, so I don't even know why it comes up as a pirate. I'm just gonna fucking add them all, and then I'll deal with them later. I'll remove some later. This, again, says merchant, ship. I don't know why it's coming up as a pirate. It doesn't even say pirate on the card. Is that weird? Are you seeing this? Okay. Goblin pirate. We loves him. This is so weird. Like, this says summon ships, but the card itself is reef pirates. I'm gonna include it anyway. Alright, I've added all the legal and available pirates that are possible. There's 27, which obviously will change because I will narrow them down and optimize to whatever I want the deck to be able to do. So, let's look. Breaches, Malcolm, competitive, pauper, EDH. They're calling it cpEDH.
Yeah.
Okay, it's saying Keen-Eyed Navigator, Reckless Fireweaver, Wings of Velis, but it looks like so many pieces.
What does?
That combo.
Mm.
So it says this deck was the start for that archetype and my submitted deck for the pEDH contest. I think Kedis is the better partner competitive-wise, and I keep the workflow going there. All right, so there's another deck list here. Obviously, Kedis can be easily swapped out. It's still the same colors. This deck aims to compete with tier 2 decks as my testing so far. It usually combos around turn 5 or 6 if left unchecked. While it also has several ways to interact with other combos, it can also protect its own combo. Pirate-wise, I only put the evasive CMC 1 to 2 pirates in the deck. Any more expensive pirate wouldn't make sense, as they wouldn't fit in the curve. You always have Malcolm on 3, and you don't want to take another turn just to develop another pirate. Those cheap pirates can give you explosive turns in terms of ramping, because you could get like 1, 2, or 3 treasures per turn if left unchecked. These treasures will help drastically to combo off, and they're going to make you 1 to 2 turns faster. Plan A is Malcolm plus Viridian Longbow plus Freed from the Reel. It kills the table. Any other pirate would be sufficient too, but you still have to have Malcolm on the battlefield. In case your Malcolm would be affected by summoning sickness, you can still put Bow plus Freed on another pirate, or even on a non-pirate to make them a pirate. There's also ways to in the deck to give haste. Instead of Longbow, you can use Hermetic Study, Psionic Gift, or Quicksilver Dagger. The problem is Freed is the bottleneck. There's no alternatives for Freed, so if Freed gets exiled, you couldn't combo anymore. That's why there's alternative ways to combo without Freed. Alternative B is Malcolm, Reckless Fireweaver, and Wings of Velis Veil, plus any artifact drop like a treasure by Malcolm. If Fireweaver is a pirate and pings the opponent, you generate treasures thanks to Malcolm, which will trigger the Fireweaver again, and so on. This combo doesn't even need a Longbow Study Dagger, which is superb. Also, I chose Wings of Velis Veil as an example here, because notice how wings can be found by Vidalcan Aether Mage. Alternative C, alternative D, and alternative E. So it looks like there's like 5 possible combos in this deck.
Oh, it's too many.
That feels so overpowered. I'd have to like write a cheat sheet on my hand. I'd be like, these are my combos.
You'd get expelled.
Yeah, right. Johnny Boy wants to know what happened to Anna's Commander stream.
Oh, my internet kept going out, but we got it to go eventually.
Yeah, we finished the game.
I don't know.
We played one game and we finished the game.
Yeah, so if you wanted to go back and watch the VOD, it's still there. Like there's one VOD that's like an hour long from today. That's the one you can rewatch. But yeah, it was my first Commander stream back in New Jersey, and it was just testing out the weird internet.
It worked eventually. It was fine. Like once it got going, it was totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm wondering. See, I liked Breaches because it has Menace. I don't necessarily love playing other people's stuff. Like exile the top card of each of these opponents' libraries, blah, blah, blah. But I do like exiling people's stuff, you know? So, like, whether or not I play it doesn't matter, as long as they don't have access to it, which is why I like Breaches. But Kedis isn't a big contender in this as well. And, like, they're only... This Kedis... So, alright, this Malcolm list has 12 creatures in it, and this Kedis list has 8 creatures.
No, there's so, like, all of the blue cards in every deck I look at,
30 instants, 11 sorceries.
It's all spell slinging combo stuff that we're getting into.
I mean, I'm definitely going to learn a different style of play, that's for sure.
I know.
Look at their primer. How nice. They put like fucking word art. What the hell?
Yeah, did you see is it Guildmage primer? There's literally a whole novel. You go to the primer, there's like a table of contents.
Yeah, this one has a table of contents too. They like tabbed it.
Hilarious.
Gameplay. All right. Step 1, establish a board presence. Step 2, question mark. Oh, okay. Very clear. Thank you. All right. So
Step three.
I'm gonna start at the beginning. Intro. Malcolm Breach's Curious Control is a cpEDH take on the beloved cEDH Curious Control archetype. While it may not have the namesake card like the cEDH versions of the archetype, this deck aims to use pingers in conjunction with Ophidian Eye, Tandem Lookout, Breaches, with the help of a creature type changer to gain card advantage while chipping away at opposing life totals. The type changing cards allow us to combo off for infinite damage and treasure tokens when used with Reckless Fireweaver or Ingenious Artillerist and their good friend Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator. If you are looking for a more combo-focused approach to Malcolm and cpEDH, I recommend looking into Malcolm Kedis lists that prioritize winning via combo. You will like this deck if you enjoy drawing cards, you prefer sitting back and casting spells on other people's turns, you want to cast your opponent's spells. You will not like this deck if you dislike drawing cards, you prefer turning creatures sideways during combat phase, and you want to avoid drawing hate. Malcolm has a bit of a reputation. Draco says the deck is all in combo and not playing creature beats at all. That seems to be the meta for a lot of the decks that are popular in cpEDH, is just comboing, which to me is very boring. But that's what I will be playing against. So I will not play well or do well in a competitive setting unless I also play combo pieces. So if we're going to waste our money entering, we have to stand a chance to win. And that is the meta that we're dealing with, unfortunately.
Yep.
Early part of the game, establish a board presence in the form of a pinger. That word just gets me because in Spanish, there's a slang word for penis, and it's binga, and it ends in an A. And every time I hear pinger, I just keep hearing binga, and I'm like, I don't like it. Like it's such an ugly word to me, like pinger. And
That's hilarious.
yeah, and it just sounds like dick to me. It sounds like people just keep shouting about dicks in the room. But anyway, that's your Spanish lesson for the day. The early part of games with this deck is pretty straightforward. See, this has a totally different approach. Like, it's not the same combos as this one. Except for the Reckless Fireweaver. But this one chooses also Ingenious Artillerist. So now I'm going to look for Malcolm Kedis. I'm just concerned with, like, building something that everybody will have. Hey, Scotty Potty, thank you. Thank you for watching the Scry Babies episode. And thanks for the compliment on my deck. I'm concerned that everybody will just be coming to the table with, like, the same shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But if everyone else is gonna come to the table with the same shit, then I want to also come to the table with the same shit.
But, like, what if you have to submit a deck list before we enter. So, like, what if people are coming with the same list?
I'll bring it from you. Seemed excited. Gonna give it to you.
Well, I feel like people are gonna come with the same list because they're gonna be some people might just do exactly what I'm doing in net decking.
Well, then, what the fuck is this? Well, that's weird. I don't want a McAfee subscription. Am I giving myself viruses trying to like find tapped out decks?
Maybe we can.
What's happening here?
pEDH.
Cartouche of knowledge.
Amazing car.
I don't know what to do with my life over here. Look at this, 7 creatures. Amoeboid changeling. Look at it. Look at this stupid thing.
It's so ugly.
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's
like
gonna be very different than what we're used to for sure.
Oh my god.
The decks are mostly instances, sorceries.
This is so strange to me. Alright, I need to do some research. This is gonna take me a while. I think I've narrowed it down though. I'm doing the Abdel deck. Which we narrowed down. I just have to practice with it.
Yeah.
And then I want to make the Malcolm Breaches deck, but I haven't decided if I'm using Breaches or Kedis. And I have a few options open. And I'm probably going to like blend the two maybe instead of...
Is it all mono red?
No, it's red-blue.
Oh, of course.
Because Malcolm's blue.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one that's like the keeper, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even believe he's only 35 cents, considering how popular he is.
Yeah.
Like, people use him in pEDH, and I can't even believe that he's so cheap still. Alright, so I have 4 decks open. 2 are Malcolm Breaches, and 2 are Malcolm Kedis. Oh, I really wish that there was a different way. I kind of hate this.
You kind of hate that they're all combo decks?
Yeah.
Well...
And yours is a combo deck too, right?
Yeah, the 2 that I picked are combo decks. Because I just want to, like... If we're doing this just to, like, fuck around and learn something new, I want to, like, learn a different play style. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I'll sit down with the combo deck and I'll learn how to combo. So, like, I can learn how to identify combo pieces and, like, do all that BS that we had to do to play a combo deck.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a few tier 3 decks that aren't just comboing out. I'm sure every tier 1 deck is a combo deck.
Yeah. Bummer. All right. I think I'm gonna raid and get some dinner and think about my life and sort myself out. Text me later and let me know what you're doing with your deck, because I definitely want to practice with these. So I'm gonna work out the second deck, and then I want to practice with them this week, like ASAP.
Yeah, I want to practice them too. I have mine formatted and ready to go. I just need to figure out how to get them printed.
Okay, I have a printer if you need one. If you need to like play test it.
I'll just email you my PDFs.
Yeah. I know you can print straight from Muxfield as well. Like, I'm just gonna go into our Danger Zone deck. You can like click here, get proxies, and it'll print up like your whole list if you want, or you can uncheck whatever you don't need printed. The only thing is that they print all like white in order to save ink. like the white background, basically. If you don't care. It's
I
kind of
already
like a
have them
quick and
formatted
easy.
and ready. I can just send them to you.
Yeah, let me know.
Sweet.
And I'll print it out for you, and then we'll just spend a day crafting, like cutting all these out and all that stuff. So,
Well, you said you had a big paper cutter, right?
I do, yeah. Like a
That could
guillotine.
help. I'll get it right over to your place.
Sweet. I will be or I could bring everything to yours too. It's not hard. But yeah, you're always welcome. Thank you for joining me through this journey. I think I'm gonna raid Beth, Queen of Cardboard. If everybody can hang in there until we raid over. And I will be back probably tomorrow to stream again. Either some arena or some deck building, but I need some time to look over these meta lists because it's overwhelming. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
thank you for hanging out, and we'll raid
Of course.
over.
Anytime.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
And I'm raiding. I
When
think
she
we're
brought you on as a guest.
sending a raid over. Is it raiding? Did it raid? Go. Go,
Yeah, I went
Vincent.
through.
Okay.
Very cool.